Hello, friends in Christ. My name is Sarah Kivuti, and I'll be using this platform to share with you all my experiences of God. And they overcame him, that is the devil, by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. This is Revelations chapter 12, verse 11. I believe that this verse speaks to the power of our testimonies. What has God done for you? Can you share it with the world? And so it is my hope that through my experiences, which I will narrate just as I experienced them, someone will be touched, someone will be uplifted. And for those of you who are still searching for God, I hope that you seek Him even with a greater zeal. Above all, I hope that my experiences reveal the true nature of God, which is true love, which is love and mercy. And I hope that God, Jesus, is glorified in these narratives. In this video, I'll be sharing an encounter I had with God the Father in a dream that led to my deliverance from the spirit of fear. Now, this was during a time when I was really struggling in my life. I had this crippling fear of darkness. I remember sometimes having nightmares, and my life was just filled with fear, spiritually, especially. Now, one of those nights, I had this dream that completely transformed my life and changed my perception of who God is. I was in a dream. I was walking at the base of Mount Kenya. This is a mountain in Kenya. I'm just walking when I hear a voice from above, some place in the clouds. I did not see anything. I just heard a voice, and God called me by name, Wanjiro. And this is so special because as you remember, I introduced myself as Sarah Kivuti. God did not call me Sarah. He did not call me Kivuti. He did not call me Sarah Kivuti. He called me Wanjiro, my cultural name. It carries some cultural meanings. And this is the name that my parents, my siblings, relatives, and a few of my very close childhood friends call me. It's a name that signifies a great level of informality, intimacy, that closeness. It also kind of communicated the I know you very well message to me. And so when God called me Wanjiro, it felt so special, like He really knew me. And I responded, I said Gai, which means God. That's from my mother tongue. And so what followed that is lengthy conversation that was, again, highly informal, and it was purely in my mother tongue, Kimbere. Now, there are so many people who say that this is a white God. He came with the colonizers, and this encounter changed my perception. That's not how I think of Him anymore, because He speaks my mother tongue. He calls me Wanjiro. At that moment, He became a personal God to me. He was very close to me, closer than my family. That's how I felt. And so we had this in the conversations. God is asking me all these questions about my social life. Like, the guys is asking me to tell him the guys I'm interested in, who am I crushing on, who is interested in me, what my fears are, just things about my life that are pretty intimate, things that only a very close friend should ask. Those are the things God was asking. And friends, He seemed genuinely invested in my life. He wanted to know every small detail about how my life was going. And remember, this is God. the one who is all knowing. He knows everything even before I open my mouth, but he's still asking me to tell him every detail of my life. Again, that was very significant because it connects to Philippians. That is Philippians chapter 4, verse 6 to 7, that encourages us to make our requests known to God. It's not because he doesn't know them, but he wants us to tell him. And so I genuinely shared everything he asked of me. I shared all about my life at that moment. And the conversation was just so rich and so good. And something else that happened during the conversation is that God is a comedian. God made me laugh so much harder than I had ever laughed since I was born. He made me laugh until I cried. I would like to say that my master's thesis was on stand-up comedy. I wrote on stand-up comedy, and here I analyzed jokes from some of my favorite comedians, and none of them ever made me laugh as hard as God did. Of course, he's the one who created humor, so that makes sense. But unfortunately, I don't remember exactly what he told me so that I laughed that hard. So I continue walking and conversing with God. And I get to a point where I would like to take a different route. And so I tell God, it was nice talking to you. Thank you so much for your time. I'll talk to you later. I have to go. And God says, just before you go, what would you like me to do for you today? I did not even think twice. It's like my spirit, my heart already knew exactly what I needed at that moment. I was filled with fear, and so I just said, God, please be taking care of me. Oh, menyagirire, that's what I said in my mother tongue. When I said this, God chuckled, and then he said, when you're born, I am the one who took care of you. In your present life, I'm the one who stands with you and takes care of you. And I promise you that even in your future life, I am the same, and I will take care of you. I created you, and I will care for you. Those are God's words, and then I woke up. Friends, when I woke up, I can tell you that my life was completely transformed. Mentally, spiritually, even physically, I felt like as if I had gained a new strength. This is the moment where the verse that says, even though I walk through the valley of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. This is the time this verse made sense to me in such a powerful way, because I felt like I could actually go to hell or through the valley of death and feel nothing. I was absolutely fearless. I felt as if there was this ring of protection that was around me. That was the safest I had ever felt in my whole life. Now, later in life, I started having doubts about God speaking to me, whether that was really God or was it just a dream. And I believe that some people here will feel the same way, that that was just a dream, Sarah. Stop. It was just a dream. It's a reflection of what is in your mind. But later, I just thought of randomly opening the Bible, and I can tell you that I had these doubts that encounter was real. When I randomly opened the Bible, and the first thing my eyes landed on was Isaiah chapter 46, verse 3 to 4. Of course, it landed on verse 3, and then I just continued to verse 4. And it says, I'll read the New American Standard Bible. Listen to me, house of Jacob, and all the remnant of the house of Israel, you who have been carried by me from birth, and have been carried from the womb, even to your old age. I will be the same. And even to your graying years, I will carry you. I have done it, and I will bear you. And I will carry you, and I will save you. I read another version of the Bible that actually talks about I'll care for you. I don't remember which one it was. But this word shocked me because this is exactly what God said. I felt like this resonated with what I heard in the dream. It was God confirming to me that His word is real, it's living, and it continues to live, because even as I speak right now, I am not afraid of darkness. That is in the past. And I thank Jesus for that. I hope this encounter encouraged you. And if you've had any experience, have you had any experience of God yourself? What has God done for you? Please feel free to share in the comments below. See you next time. Thank you so much for listening.